Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So this is going to be your bi-weekly twin flame / soulmate reading. So I already pulled cards, and if you're new here, basically one row is the divine masculine and then one row is the divine feminine. And if you are not familiar with those terms, or if you're not a twin flame, then just look at it as one person is in the runner energy and one person is in the chaser energy. So the chaser would be the divine feminine and then the runner would be the divine masculine. But also I have to remind you all that we all do have masculine and feminine energy within us. So really when you watch these readings, you can look at it as two different aspects of yourself, because even though the other person that you're spiritually connected to, even though they are a whole separate being from you, they are pretty much acting as like a shadow to you or like a reflection. So some of their energy does dwell within you as well. So while you're watching for them, or like while you're listening for their row, you can really just apply it to the other side of you that you have not fully become aware of or that you have not fully tapped into. So I hope that that makes sense. At any time, if you feel like these readings are keeping you stuck in a situation that you no longer want to be in, or you feel like it's causing you to think about someone who you shouldn't be thinking about, then take some time to yourself and take a break from tarot readings, and then come back when things have kind of settled down emotionally and mentally, because sometimes these tarot readings can bring on a bit of fear and anxiety, especially if we are newly separated from someone that we have a spiritual connection with. Okay, so let's jump right into it. The energies can go vice versa, so you could be the top or the bottom. Just listen out for the descriptions and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to figure out who is who. So the top would be the divine feminine. I'm going to assume that this is you. So the Knight of Cups comes out at the top of the deck. So the Knight of Cups talks about making an offer. Usually it's an offer of love, but it really could be an offer that has to do with something that you're emotionally tied to. It doesn't necessarily have to be love. It can be an offer of friendship. It could be someone offering you a new job. It's like anything that you are emotionally tied to that you have to offer, or that someone is offering to you. So it looks like it's a brand new start with this Nine of Cups card. That's the energy that I'm getting. Let me pull a card to clarify. I'm hearing with that card, knowing your worth. So it looks like because some of you are learning your worth and like seeing your value, that doors are opening up for you. And if that's not the energy that you're in, then it's the energy that you're going to be in. It's like when you really start to see how valuable you are and start really appreciating yourself and getting to know yourself and loving yourself, it's like the world just opens up to you. It's like a whole new world. So many doors start to open up. You become more confident. You go after things that you were not confident enough to go after before. That's why when a lot of people step into these twin flame journeys or soulmate connections, it's like they separate from the person and it's very, very painful. But at the same time, it's like you can't deny that this is causing you to become a better, greater version of yourself. So if you've ever had any dreams or any goals that you've had for a long time that you never pursued, I feel like a lot of you are now actually stepping into that energy of being confident enough to go after it. And if that's not the energy that you're in, that's the energy that you need to be in. You're needing to be confident in yourself and to go after the things that you want in life. Because one of the main objectives when it comes to these soulmate experiences is to, like I said, help you to gain self-worth and self-value in a way that now you can go after the things in life that you fully and truly deserve. A lot of us have been spiritually broken, is what I'm hearing. Spiritually broken by things or people from our past, usually our parents specifically. And through this connection, it's like you are kind of like traveling back in time and repairing those wounds. So now you can become the person that you were always meant to be, minus the blockages and the trauma. See what I'm saying? I'm going to pull one more. For some of you, this is a heart chakra awakening, or a heart chakra opening, I should say. So you could be feeling like pains in your chest or just random, your heart could just start beating randomly. Now, make sure that you are going to see a doctor about that, of course. Don't just say, oh, it's a heart chakra activation, it's fine. It could be something medical, so make sure you get yourself checked out. But for the most part, I feel like some of you are experiencing like your heart chakra opening and balancing out because of this connection. And because of that, you're going to be able to give and receive love much more freely. And it's being clarified by the 8 of Swords. So the 8 of Swords is clarified in the reverse. Let me actually show you this card. So you're coming out of a mental prison. You're coming out of mental entrapment. So that is very, very positive. So with the 8 of Wands being here in the reverse, this card actually came out in the weekly reading. So make sure you go check that out because it could resonate with some of you. So the 8 of Wands is pretty much talking about stagnant energy. Well, the 8 of Wands in reverse, I mean, and that's a good thing. Because one thing about being the divine feminine or being the chaser is that sometimes we can misplace our own masculine energy. Masculine energy is all about action. It's all about going after the things that you want. And when you're the chaser, obviously you're going after something that you want. You're chasing after a person. But that is misplaced masculine energy. That's using your masculine energy in the wrong way. You're needing to take that chaser energy, like chasing after that person, and actually start to chase after yourself, chase after your healing, chase after the things that you know are going to bring you success and abundance and fulfillment in life. And it sounds like a very simple concept, but it's not, because a lot of us who are in this energy, we've pretty much been trained, I guess you could say, to be people pleasers and to go after other people in order for them to validate us, so that then we don't really have to validate ourselves, because we don't know how to validate ourselves. We learn how to self-soothe and validate ourselves, and we become confident through childhood. Like as we are developing in childhood, that's where that sense of self is supposed to develop. So if you never develop that sense of self because you didn't get the proper nurturing, the next best thing is to chase after someone so they can give you that sense of self. They can tell you who you are. They can tell you how beautiful you are. They can tell you how worthy you are, because you don't know how to tell that to yourself because it was never taught to you. So I'm thinking that that energy needs to be redirected onto yourself. And it's like I'm hearing ceasefire, and I don't understand what that means. So some of you could be arguing with your divine masculine or your counterpart, and you're needing to basically drop your weapons, is what I'm hearing. Wow, that's odd. But yeah, that would make sense if some of you are like arguing with them. But for those of you who are not, I'm just thinking that this energy just needs to be redirected back onto yourself. 1 second, let me get water. Okay. Next card out is the King of Pentacles in reverse. So the King of Pentacles in reverse is masculine energy. It is that kind of like someone who has like the Midas touch, you know, someone who's like a go-getter, someone who's very stable, someone who is very much, it's like they are a master at manifesting abundance in the material world. You see, like someone who may be an entrepreneur, or just could be very well off, like someone who is actively pursuing their dreams, like someone who is getting paid to do what they love. It's like someone who, they show up in the third dimension, meaning like they're not just passively living their life. They are actually going after the things that they want, and they are acquiring a lot of abundance because of it. And that's coming up in the reverse on your end. So that means that that's the energy that you need to step into. You're needing to stop being so passive when it comes to your life and start really, really going after the things that you want. And you have to understand that whatever you want, you are guaranteed to get. And I know a lot of people may argue with that. They might say that's not realistic, but it absolutely is. Because when you have a desire for something, that desire is planted there specifically because you can't achieve it. So if you have a desire for something and you always have, it's time for you to go after it and obtain it. The only time that that will backfire is if you have a desire for something that is out of alignment. Meaning, okay, for example, you have a desire for this relationship with this other person, right? So by what I'm saying, it would be like, okay, cool. So I have a desire for this person, and that means that if I desire it, I can have them. So let me go and chase them. But that's out of alignment, because when you chase after someone, you are pretty much sending out a signal that you are fearful, that you are afraid of them never coming back, that you are afraid of not being good enough, that you are afraid that you'll never find this love with anyone else. So you're making moves based off of fear, and you're out of alignment. Now let's say you always had a desire to be an actress, and you chase after that. Now you're not chasing that, or you're not chasing anything out of fear. You're chasing that out of being in alignment with what you truly want. You're chasing something that can bring you abundance and happiness. You see the difference? Big difference between chasing something out of fear and chasing something out of love. So you're needing to go after things that you're chasing out of love, and the things that are supposed to come to you will come to you naturally, especially when it comes to another person or another human being. Like, it's going to come to you naturally. You don't have to chase after what is already yours. When it comes to your goals and dreams, those are the things that you should be pointing your energy at and actually pursuing. So with the Devil card being in reverse, it looks like a lot of you are removing yourself from toxic energy, which is very, very good. I know a lot of divine feminines or chasers have been in this very, very dark, kind of like devil energy. And when I say devil energy, this could mean anything. It could mean anything that keeps you stuck to the point where you feel like you can't get out of it. So like addictions, codependency, you could be addicted to a person, just anything that slows you down or anything that holds you back and keeps you binded. Even when you know, even when you know the thing is not good for you and it's destructive, it's like you can't stay away from it. That's how you know that that's devil energy. And the way that I release that, honestly, it's going to sound so like, I guess, simple that it just doesn't make any sense, but I release it through prayer. And again, I say that some people say that doesn't make sense because they think this has a strong hold on me. I can't just pray it away. And I say that you absolutely can. Okay, so sorry if there was a slight pause or a slight break in the video. I don't know what just happened. I was like really tapped into the cards and into the messages, and then randomly I lost my train of thought, and then as soon as I lost my train of thought, the camera just cut off. So I don't know what that was about. So if the angle changed a little bit, that's why. But like I was saying, the way that I released this devil energy is through prayer. And that doesn't mean that I didn't take the proper steps to break free from the energy, meaning that I had to change up my routine. You know, I had to change up my habits. I had to go and seek emotional support. It's like I had to do all that. But when I had my biggest breakthrough, I noticed that it came through just really, really asking for that angelic help and really asking for a source or God, whatever you believe in, to help break free from this addiction. And in my case, my addiction was the person that I was pursuing. Really, it was the codependent attachment that I had to him and the trauma bond that I had to him. So I had to really ask the Most High to release me from that mental anguish. So some of you may need to or may want to take that into consideration. If you feel like you have been stuck or trapped in a pattern for a long time, it may very well be that you're in need of spiritual healing and you may need to ask for help. And again, like I said, that's not a substitution for actually going to get therapy and going to seek out emotional support, but you can just use prayer and spirituality to help with the process as you're doing those things. So moving on to the bottom row, which would be the divine masculine or the runner energy. So the top of the deck is the Six of Swords. So it looks like this person, it looks like they are trying to move into calmer waters and they are trying to find peace. I think that they have been very tormented by their thoughts and they've been kind of in a, I guess you could say a mental prison. Or, oh, okay, some of them could have been in an actual prison. Interesting. Some of you could have been dealing with someone who was incarcerated or recently got out. Okay, that's a first for my cards. But overall, I think that whatever prison that this person was in, I think that it was self-inflicted. I think that this person may have been operating from their ego, because right before the Six of Swords comes the Five of Swords. And that's like the card that I associate with ego, like trying to get the upper hand, trying to be dominant, trying to be powerful over someone, like trying to win, trying to show like, okay, whoever cares the least is the person who has the upper hand. You see what I'm saying? So that could have been the dynamic or the game that could have been played. And I feel like it caused this person to fall into a mental prison. Because when you play that sort of game and you start to do that whole tit for tat, I want to make sure I have the upper hand. I'm not going to show you any love to punish you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you start to step into that energy, it can kind of backfire and cause a lot of karma to come your way. So if the person you were dealing with was playing a lot of mind games, I feel like it kind of boomeranged and they ended up entrapping themselves in some type of mental prison or a mental state of distress is what I'm hearing. Let me just see what's under this. Yeah, with the Eight of Cups, it's interesting because with the Eight of Cups coming up, what I'm getting from that is that you may have walked away from this person or they may have walked away from you, but energetically, they never did walk away from you. They never left. It looks like they still had some type of emotional tie to you even when you thought that they didn't. This person to me just seems like someone who, like I said, they could have just really got caught up in like the power play of it all. Like just trying to win or trying to get the upper hand by showing that they don't care or something along those lines, while at the same time still feeling that emotional connection. It's just a lot of like unnecessary power play, mind games, things of that sort. And like I said, that always boomerangs and comes back around. So I don't know why people even, try to play that game. But for the most part, it looks like they are trying to move into calmer waters or trying to find a peace of mind. I want to pull one more for that. It's like, what I'm getting is like the example of when someone knows that you're watching their social media, so they purposely try to post about how happy their new life is or their new relationship is because they're trying to like punish you. So it's like, okay, if you claim you don't care about me and you're not showing any emotion towards me, then why are you trying to purposely hurt me by posting certain things that you know I'm going to see? You see what I'm saying? It's like those type of like power play, power games. But it always ends up like this with the Ten of Cups in the reverse. Not getting what you truly want, not fully being happy, because you can't ever fully be happy if you're just playing those games with the person that you supposedly love and the person that loves you. So it just, like I said, it just ends up backfiring. But I feel like this is like a default setting. Like some people, when they've been through things in life where they felt powerless or they felt like their power was taken from them, their first reaction towards these type of connections is to try to get the upper hand. Because they just want to feel powerful. They don't care about, okay, I love this person and I want to work this out. All they care about is I want to have the last laugh, or like I want to be the one to walk away and say I don't care, and the other person is begging me and chasing me, and that makes me feel powerful. You see what I'm saying? But again, that energy always boomerangs, and they never fully end up getting what they want, especially not a happy, fulfilling relationship when you have that mindset. So with the Seven of Swords being in the reverse, anything that they've done in their past is catching up to them. They can't really run from their past anymore, or they can't run from the past version of themselves. I feel like they may be trying to start over, like they may be trying to like recreate themselves or become a new version of themselves, but they don't want to face the past version of themselves. Yeah, that's not how that works. And I've dated people like this before, definitely. That they just like, you know what, forget the past. I'm just going to recreate myself and I'm a new person today. And it's like, yeah, no, I don't think so. Especially when you've left like a trail of broken hearts behind you and you've done all these people dirty and you've just done very sneaky, conniving, manipulative things. It's like, yeah, you can't really expect to start a new life without paying some of that karma back or without facing yourself, honestly. Because it's like, how can you really truly change if you have no clue why you do the things that you do? Like if you're not self-aware, how do you expect to change? Like in a way that's going to be long lasting. You're just always going to continue to fall backwards into that old version of yourself because you haven't fully acknowledged that the old version of you is broken and damaged and needs to be fixed. Instead, you just want to try to put a band-aid over it, and that's not going to work. And again, when I say you, I'm talking about this other person, or this could be you. It depends on which row you are, which one resonates. So with the Star card being here in the upright, this talks about healing. I think some of them are having a spiritual awakening with this Star card. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like some sort of spiritual awakening after the realization that the past cannot be something that you dodge and run from. That's usually when the spiritual awakening starts. That's when the dark night of the soul starts. When it's like you're trying to create a future for yourself, but then the past version of you is still haunting you in a way. And so like you are kind of in between. You're like in that cocoon right before you become a butterfly. And that's when you're in the dark night of the soul and you're having to face yourself fully. That's why in the Star card, the person is naked. Well, this is like the Aquarius card. So it's the card of like enlightenment. And then also it's the card of being transparent, being very vulnerable. Like I said, this person is naked in the card because when you are going through a spiritual awakening, you do feel like you're naked. You feel extremely vulnerable. And it's like you can't run from yourself at that point. Like there's nowhere to hide. It's what I'm hearing. But that's a good thing though, because that's why we enter these connections in the first place. The same way that you are learning a lot about yourself and growing, this person has that same opportunity to learn and grow through their connection with you. So it's not a one-way street where you are just learning all these lessons and being hurt and, you know, things of that sort, and they're just getting off scot-free. They are learning lessons about themselves too through this connection. So with the Five of Wands being here, it looks like they're trying to remove themselves from conflict. I'm hearing that that's inner conflict that they're trying to remove themselves from. So they could be like struggling with their conscience, and they don't really want to feel that guilt or think about anything that they've done that may cause them to feel guilty. I think this person just doesn't like inner conflict, and so they will try their best to explain it away. Anything that they do, they have a way of explaining it away so that they don't have to feel guilty, is what I'm seeing. Which is crazy because it's like the exact opposite of you. I think that you may be the type that when you have inner conflict, you kind of sit with it and beat yourself up. But they explain it away. Like you could do something so minor and you'll sit like, oh, why did I do that? I'm a horrible person. But they'll do something like that's horrible and like can possibly really, really hurt someone. And they will find a way to be like, you know what? That's fine because A, B, and C. Yeah, so it's good, it's fine. And then they'll just move on. Like it's that type of energy. Which is like, it's interesting because like I said, this is your shadow. Like this person is like the shadow version of you that you're needing to look at. So basically what they're teaching you is that you need to learn how to take on some of that energy of not beating yourself up, not to the extreme like they do. Because I feel like I said, they take it to the extreme. Like they've done something horribly devastating and they're like, oh, let me just explain this away, and because I know I'm a good person, so I don't need to feel bad about this, and then they just move on. But it's like you need to give yourself that luxury sometimes too. Like sometimes when you make mistakes, you're needing to be more forgiving of yourself. And that's the crazy part about these connections. Like I said, it's like this person is literally like the shadow aspect of you, and they basically show you parts of yourself that you are needing to embody, and then you show them parts of themselves that they need to embody. So the same way that you beat yourself up all the time, like for the smallest things, they need to beat themselves up a little bit. Like they don't need to have it to the extreme, but they need to take some of that energy and embody it, because they need to sit down with themselves and say, okay, what I did was wrong, and take accountability so that they can heal and change. You see what I'm saying? So it's like both of you mirror each other in a way that can be very beneficial, because then you can fully heal and grow. But of course, first, self-awareness has to be at the forefront. So a lot of you are self-aware. Obviously, that's why you're the one watching these tarot readings. And that's why a lot of you are doing the healing work. So hopefully on this other person's end, they're doing the healing work as well. So we're going to continue this over on my Vimeo channel. Trying to figure out. Yeah, we're going to continue this over on my Vimeo channel. I thought there was another message coming through, but I guess not. So I'm going to extend this. We're going to look more into your energy. And we're going to look more into their energy as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys over on Vimeo. Bye.